Hello, and welcome to this week's Legislative Rundown, where we attempt to decipher the cryptic ramblings of our elected officials and translate them into something resembling coherence. It's like trying to understand the plot of Tenet, but instead of time inversion, it's just dense legal jargon. This week, Congress is tackling a smorgasbord of issues, from the fate of our finned friends to the future of our forests. And trust me, understanding these bills isn't just for policy wonks with an insatiable thirst for bureaucratic jargon. It's about knowing what our government is doing in our name, with our money, and how it might impact all of us. So, buckle up, grab your reading glasses, and maybe a stiff drink, because we're about to dive headfirst into the murky, yet surprisingly fascinating world of congressional legislation. And remember, the Majority Leader's schedule is essentially the legislative crystal ball. So keep an eye on that bad boy. You can find a link on my page. First up, we're diving into the deep end with H.R. 207, also known as the Shark Act. Now, before you picture a bunch of congressmen in scuba gear debating underwater, let me explain. This bill aims to throw a lifeline to our often misunderstood shark pals. We're talking about increased funding for shark conservation and research, which, let's be honest, is long overdue. I mean, these creatures have been around for millions of years. They're basically swimming dinosaurs, and we repay them by overfishing them and turning them into soup. Not cool, guys. And here's the thing. Protecting sharks isn't just about saving these magnificent creatures, it's about protecting entire ecosystems. They're apex predators, keeping the ocean's food chain in check, and their decline could have a ripple effect on marine life as we know it. Plus, healthy oceans mean a healthy planet, and who doesn't want that? So, the Shark Act is a step in the right direction, and hopefully it'll make a splash in Congress. Because the last thing we need is another Jaws sequel, but this time it's humans who are the villains. Next up, we're trading our scuba gear for something a little more formal as we discuss H.R. 186, the Hershel Williams National Medal of Honor Monument Location Act. Now, that's a mouthful, but it's a mouthful with a purpose. This bill is all about finding a prime piece of real estate in Washington, D.C. for a monument dedicated to honoring the bravest of the brave, the recipients of the Medal of Honor. We're talking about individuals who've displayed extraordinary courage and selflessness in the face of danger, folks who put their lives on the line for their country. Now, you might be thinking, don't we already have enough monuments in DC? And to that I say, have you seen the traffic down there? One more won't hurt. But seriously, this isn't just another chunk of granite. It's a testament to the sacrifices made by these extraordinary individuals. It's a place where future generations can learn about their stories of valor, where we can all reflect on the true meaning of courage and patriotism. Plus, let's be real, DC can always use a little more inspiration, especially these days. From honoring heroes, we're moving on to, well, mapping water. Don't worry, it's more exciting than it sounds. H.R. 187, the MAPWaters Act of 2025, is all about getting up close and personal with our nation's waterways. And no, I don't mean encouraging everyone to jump in a kayak. This bill is about using fancy technology to create detailed maps of our rivers, lakes and coastlines. Think Google Maps, but for water, and with a lot more data about water depth, floodplains, all that good stuff. Now, you might be thinking, great, more maps. Can't we just use the ones we have? But here's the thing. Accurate maps are essential for everything from flood control and disaster response to environmental protection and infrastructure development. They help us understand how water flows, where it goes, and how it impacts our communities. It's like having a crystal ball for our water resources, and trust me, with climate change throwing us curveballs left and right, we need all the help we can get. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to tackle a bill with a name that's longer than a CVS receipt, the Lake Winnibigoshish Land Exchange Act of 2025. Yes, you heard that right, Lake Winnibigoshish. It's a real place, I promise, and it's lovely. But this bill isn't about the lake itself. It's about the land surrounding it. See, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle up there with different chunks owned by different entities. And as we all know, when it comes to land management, things can get messy. So HR 197 aims to do a little rearranging, swapping some parcels of land to create more cohesive areas for conservation and recreation. Think of it like a game of Tetris, but instead of blocks, it's pristine forests and sparkling shorelines. The goal is to improve public access to this natural wonderland while ensuring its protection for generations to come. Plus, it could boost the local economy through increased tourism and recreation opportunities. Who doesn't love a good win-win situation? From the shores of Lake Winnibigoshish, we're heading to the heartland to talk about a bill that's close to my stomach, and hopefully yours too, because it involves food. HR 204, the ACRES Act, is all about showing some love to our nation's farmers and ranchers. Now, before you picture politicians in overalls milking cows for photo ops, let me explain. This bill is about supporting those who work tirelessly to put food on our tables by promoting the conservation of agricultural and rural lands. We're talking about encouraging sustainable farming practices that protect our soil, water and air, while ensuring farmers can continue to do what they do best: grow delicious food. Because let's be real, without farmers we're all just one step away from foraging for berries in the woods. And trust me, I've seen what people do for berries at the farmers' market. It's not pretty. The ACRES Act is a crucial step towards building a more resilient and sustainable food system, one that benefits both farmers and eaters alike. So let's all raise a glass of locally sourced apple cider to that. From the fields of agriculture, we turn our attention to a site of immense historical significance and profound sorrow: Wounded Knee. HR 165, the Wounded Knee Massacre Memorial and Sacred Site Act, seeks to establish a lasting memorial at this hallowed ground. This bill isn't just about marking a location on a map. It's about acknowledging a dark chapter in American history, a massacre that claimed the lives of hundreds of Lakota men, women and children. It's about honouring their memory, their resilience and their enduring legacy. The memorial will serve as a place for reflection, education and healing, a stark reminder of the human cost of broken treaties and the importance of reconciliation. It's a long overdue step towards acknowledging the injustices faced by Native American communities and ensuring that such tragedies are never forgotten and hopefully never repeated. This bill is a testament to the power of remembrance and the importance of learning from our past, no matter how painful it may be. Aloha everyone, and hold on to your leis because we're heading to the beautiful islands of Hawaii to discuss a bill that's all about saving a very special tree, the Ohia lehua. HR 375, the Continued Rapid Ohia Death Response Act, aims to combat a silent killer threatening these iconic trees. Now, before you picture a bunch of politicians dressed as palm trees, let me explain. Rapid Ohia Death, or ROD, is a fungal disease that's been decimating Ohia forests across Hawaii. And these aren't just any trees, they're keystone species, providing habitat for endangered birds, preventing erosion and playing a vital role in Hawaiian culture. This bill aims to pump the brakes on ROD by providing funding for research, prevention and management efforts. It's about protecting Hawaii's unique biodiversity, its stunning landscapes and its cultural heritage. Because let's be real, nobody wants to visit a Hawaii without Ohia trees. It would be like going to Disneyland and finding out Mickey's taking a personal day. So let's hope this bill gets the green light, because saving Hawaii's forests is about more than just trees. It's about preserving a way of life. From the lush rainforests of Hawaii, we're shifting gears to address a fiery issue that's been plaguing communities across the American West: wildfires. HR 471, aptly named the Fix Our Forests Act, aims to do just that. Now, before you envision Congress equipped with tiny fire hoses, let me explain. This bill is all about tackling the root causes of these increasingly destructive wildfires, overgrown forests, drought and climate change. We're talking about increased funding for forest management practices like thinning and prescribed burns, which help reduce the risk of catastrophic fires. It's about investing in research, technology and workforce training to better prepare for and respond to wildfires. The fix. Our Forests Act is not just about putting out fires, it's about preventing them in the first place. It's about protecting our communities, our forests and our planet from the devastating impacts of these infernos. Because let's face it, the only thing hotter than a wildfire is a Congress that actually gets things done. Hold on to your hats, folks, because we're about to navigate a topic that's more sensitive than a raw nerve abortion. H.R. 21, the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Protection Act, has ignited a firestorm of debate, and it's not hard to see why. This bill mandates medical care for infants born alive after attempted abortions, a scenario that, while rare, sparks intense ethical and legal questions. Proponents argue it's about protecting the most vulnerable among us, ensuring that all infants receive life-saving care, regardless of the circumstances of their birth. Opponents, however, contend that it's a thinly veiled attempt to restrict access to abortion, arguing that it interferes with the doctor-patient relationship and could have a chilling effect on women's reproductive health care. This bill sits at the intersection of deeply held beliefs about the beginning of life, the role of government in healthcare, and the rights of women to make decisions about their own bodies. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, and it's crucial to approach it with sensitivity, respect, and a willingness to engage in thoughtful dialogue. From the heated debate surrounding abortion, we turn our attention to a group that often gets overlooked: foster youth. S5, the Laken Act, aims to shine a light on the challenges these young people face as they transition into adulthood. We're talking about providing foster care alumni with the support they need to succeed, from housing and education to employment and healthcare. Because let's be real, aging out of the foster care system can be like jumping out of a plane without a parachute. This bill is about ensuring that these young adults have the resources and opportunities they need to land safely and build a brighter future. It's about investing in their potential, breaking cycles of poverty and instability, and creating a more just and equitable society for all. The Laken Act is a reminder that we have a collective responsibility to care for our most vulnerable populations, and that includes those who've aged out of the foster care system. It's about giving these young people a fighting chance, and that's something we can all get behind. So there you have it, folks. A whirlwind tour of this week's legislative roller coaster. We've covered everything from sharks and forests to healthcare and social justice. It's enough to make your head spin faster than a politician trying to dodge a tough question. But here's the thing, these bills, these laws, they aren't just abstract concepts debated in some far-off chamber. They have real-world implications, impacting our communities, our environment and our lives in profound ways. That's why it's crucial to stay informed, to understand what's at stake, and to make your voice heard. Check out the resources in the description, visit your representatives' websites, and don't be afraid to reach out and let them know where you stand. Because in a democracy, silence is golden only for those who benefit from the status quo. And trust me, none of us want that. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more legislative updates, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going because, as always, knowledge is power, and together we can make a difference.